Now, I don't know about you, but I did not get much sex education when I was a kid, aside from the misinformation that I swapped with my equally ignorant buddies. My mother had one very simple line for me, that don't do it. Don't have sex, because the worst thing a girl can do to her mother is to get pregnant before she is married. Now, I didn't pay much attention to that, of course. But as a public service, assuming that you didn't get any better education when you were a kid than I did, I am offering some basic information that might be helpful. So I'm going to tell you the story of Jennifer and Alexander as an illustration. The two of them met online. It was on, Match.com. And they exchanged emails, and they exchanged texts and phone calls, and finally, of course, they decided they would meet for coffee. And they did, in a neighborhood coffee shop, and the conversation was pleasant, and they got along well. And, they were having a very good time. They even had a second cup of coffee. And then they decided, well, we're doing so well here, let's continue this. Maybe we should go somewhere and have a glass of wine and grab a bite to eat. Well, immediately Alexander is thinking, I wonder if I'm going to have to pay for hers. And Jennifer is thinking, I wonder if he'll offer to pay, and then I can refuse and show what an independent woman I am. So that's the strategy. But now what? Well, Jennifer tips her hand, and she says, actually, I have a nice bottle of wine and some good cheese up at my place. Why don't you go up there? And Alexander thinks, oh, I'm about to get lucky. So they go up to Jennifer's apartment, and they polish off the wine, and they nibble at the cheese. And then Alex does get lucky. And in a short order, they are in the bedroom. All right, now we're going to shift the scene to the lower regions of Jennifer's body. When Jennifer was born, she was born with about 300,000 eggs. And they have been stored in her ovaries. But I'm about to introduce you to little Olivia Ovum. And Olivia is about to be released. It's going to be her turn. Now, two ova at a time have been released for the last few years, ever since puberty. And now Jennifer is down to about 30,000 eggs, which is roughly the population of Bartlesville, Oklahoma. And it's a very simple process. She knows her eggs are declining. But there about a couple of days ago, before Alexander appeared on the scene, little Olivia left home. Left actually what's like a kind of a sorority house. And the house mother said, just follow the fallopian tube and you'll be just fine. So Olivia is on her way. Meanwhile, over in the lower regions of Alexander, the chemists and the engineers have been busy. And the chemists have been down in his balls mixing up a load of jizz. And the engineers are beginning to crank up the machinery, and the cock is coming up. And now he's in, and he's pounding. He's locked and loaded. And out shoots at the magical moment a teaspoonful of cum, in which there are approximately 300 million sperm. Is that not an amazing number? That is just a little less than the population of the entire United States. Theoretically, if the whole population of the United States was wiped out and there were enough women available, he could repopulate the entire country with just one cum. Think of that. So they have their magical moment, and then it's over. And then she thinks belatedly, I hope he was cut. And he's thinking, I hope she's on the pill. And they get up and they put their clothes on, and Alexander says, I gotta leave. I have a meeting tomorrow morning, and I really gotta do some preparation for that meeting. And she says, yeah. Jennifer says, yes, I have a lot I have to do this evening too. It was nice to see you. Maybe we can get together again. He says he'll call. She doesn't think he will. Doesn't particularly want him to. He was a pretty bum lover, as a matter of fact. He thinks she had an annoying laugh, and that was kind of a bum fuck. She's thinking, I sucked him off until my jaw was going to fall off, and he never did go down on me. They ghost each other. That's what can happen. It sometimes does happen. And that's why mothers say, don't do it. But whoever pays attention to that? I didn't. Did you? Probably not. And we never will.